Ali, welcoming you to the 2109th edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper. Dateline, 17th of August 2017. Readers this week are Ali and John, with Peter on the controls. The editor was Phillip, and the production and distribution team is Jean and Lindsay. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Prilly, Fernand Bouillon, Harry Breuer, and performed by Jean-Jacques Perret, and is used with his kind permission. The local news stories that we will be reading come from the Enfield Independent and Palmer's Green and Southgate Life magazine, under their copyright. Events information has been collated by us from other sources. The lead story this week is We Need More Police to Protect the Elderly. For the news, we have one or two special news items and notices. First, the sunrise and sunset times for the week beginning the 21st of August are sunrise at 05:50 and sunset at 20:17. We also have a special notice from the production team. We have received some reports of wallets being delivered which are empty and do not contain any memory sticks. We are keen to understand the extent of the problem. Please can you let Diane de Jersey know if you have received empty wallets. We will report each incident to Royal Mail. If you are unable to get to a post box or post office to post your wallet, you can arrange a free collection from home under Articles for the Blind regulations by calling Royal Mail Customer Services on 0345 774 0740. Do get in touch with us to share your own news and special announcements. We love to hear from you. If you have any comments about the Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 020 8805 6578. She is your listener's representative and will be pleased to help you. Now, John will read the first item of local news.
We need more police to protect the elderly. The head of community safety in Enfield is calling for more bobbies on the beat to help protect elderly people. An increase in the number of vulnerable and elderly residents falling prey to con men has prompted Enfield's neighbourhood policing team to produce an electronic flyer offering advice. Councillor Crystal Fonyonga, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Community Safety and Public Health, said, I have become increasingly concerned about how the elderly and more vulnerable members of our community are being targeted by unscrupulous fraudsters. We are working hard with the Metropolitan Police in their fight against the rising occurrence of this type of crime. Our deployment of more mobile CCTV cameras throughout the borough can help dedicated police officers catch criminals. But it is critical that the government put more police officers on the street so there is a strong visible presence in the community we serve, regardless of all the funding cuts the council is facing. We need a more visible presence, and there is a want for more police community support officers. Residents are also being encouraged to be vigilant and keep a watchful eye on their neighbours, said Councillor Fonyonga. He added, in relation to the Enfield Neighbourhood Policing Team informing the elderly of crime prevention advice, we are reviewing how best to inform less electronically savvy elderly residents of our community. Last year, the council and police launched a When a Stranger Calls campaign and recommended the following precautions to guard against distraction burglaries. Think before you open the door. Use your chain and a spy hole. Ask callers for proof of identity and check it. If you are unsure, phone the company the caller claims to represent. Use the phone number in the phone book or on the internet, not the one on the identity card. If you are in any doubt, do not let them in. Ask the caller to come back later and arrange for a friend or relative to be present on their return. If you are still worried, dial 999 and ask for the police. Borough Commander Carl Robinson said, we will always follow up on all leads on this type of crime. If you or anybody you know ever becomes a victim, tell us as soon as possible so we can target the people committing these offences.
Teenagers spend their holiday volunteering. Students praise summer scheme. Teenagers are spending their holiday developing their social inclusion skills through a nationwide programme. Young people worked with charities Dementia Club, Norwood, Noah's Ark Hospice and Flower Lane to build the skills and independence of service users in Barnet, while 15 to 17-year-olds volunteered for Enfield Cares and Murrayfield Care Home in Enfield as part of the National Citizen Service Programme. The NCS programmes worked towards the United Nations approved International Youth Day on August the 12th, focusing on youth building peace, where young people contribute in preventing conflict whilst promoting sustainable peace, inclusion and social justice. Southgate's Ashmole Academy student Vanessa, 16, said, "I actually had a lot of fun because we got to meet really interesting people. And usually when you see people with disabilities, they're kept away from you as they need to be with people that care for them. But we were allowed to socialise and talk with them. It was fun, and it's definitely something I would do just as a volunteer." Over 8,000 young people will participate in the NCS programme across North London this summer, and last year NCS members gave over 2.3 million hours to social action. Fran, an NCS participant from Alexandra Park School, said, "NCS has really helped me understand other people's viewpoint more. I really want to get into setting up my own social action project one day." Visit the National Citizen Service Challenge website to find out more about the programme or sign up to take part.
Ambulance trial. London Ambulance Service has launched a 10-week trial tethering scheme where vehicles primarily remain in their home patch. Under the terms of the pilot, crews will only cross into other areas where a heart attack is suspected or there is a major incident. Concerns about approaching unsafe response times in Enfield, Haringey and other North London boroughs have also contributed to the launch of the scheme. Crews will be expected to stay inside the North West, North Central and North East regions. In Enfield, patients were reached within the 8-minute target 62% of the time, short of the 75% target. In addition, North Central ambulances will come under the control of dispatchers at London Ambulance Services Waterloo headquarters. The aim is to prevent emergency crews from travelling great distances.
Artist heads to Arctic to explore climate change. Hannah's crowdfunding campaign. An artist passionate about communicating the effects of climate change through her work is looking to raise cash for an Arctic expedition. Hannah Scott from Tottenham has set up an appeal on the crowdfunding website to promote her mission with the aim of raising £5,000 so she is able to join an expedition to the Arctic in October. Whilst there, she will develop her ongoing project, What Goes Around, Comes Around. In this project, Hannah explores the relationship between consumer lifestyles in Britain and the Arctic environment, focusing on the impact of plastic waste. She is aiming to challenge her audience's decisions through art after exploring the coast of Svalbard for 18 days aboard a traditionally rigged tall ship. Hannah said, "My awareness of and interest in climate change began 2 years ago when questions were raised about the environmental impact of my lifestyle that I had not previously considered. What I've learned has been quite overwhelming. Me, coming to terms with the implications, coupled with the recent loss of both my parents, had made my journey very much a search to reconcile my simultaneous bereavement of reality and self." Hannah's work references current scientific research on climate change and plastic pollution, addressing ideas relating to the Anthropocene, identity, legacy and loss. The annual residency expedition brings together international artists, scientists, architects and educators. It is an interdisciplinary exploration of the Arctic that engages in current environmental themes. The programme is called the Arctic Circle. Hannah is interested in the creative relationship between art and science. She was awarded a Mullen-Lowe Nova Award in June 2017. See www.crowdfunder.co.uk/whatgoesaroundcomesaround-1/ Visit www.hannahscott.com for further information, and her email is HIScott001@gmail.com.
Church holds charity curry night. A charity has raised cash for a Christian agency by organising a special curry night celebrating Indian cuisine. More than 100 members of Our Lady of Mount Carmel and St George's Church in Enfield helped raise £1,000 in a celebration of the food heritage of Kerala for the Catholic Agency for Overseas Development, or CAFOD. Volunteers from the Enfield Malayali Association UK, or ENMA, prepared the authentic 3-course Italian meal, Indian meal. Traditional food lovingly prepared included butter chicken, matar paneer, onion bhaji, samosas and payasam. Event organiser Bina George, said, "We got to know CAFOD at church and started to get involved in local events such as the Fair Trade Fair. We like the work CAFOD does overseas supporting those in need, especially the fact that they help no matter what faith individuals are. We really enjoyed the curry fundraiser for CAFOD, which was an amazing success. In addition to raising money, we felt it brought the whole community together. There was a real feeling of togetherness." Enfield CAFOD representative Tony Sheen gave a short presentation on the importance of the cash raised. He explained that the money would go towards helping those living in extreme poverty, regardless of race, religion or culture. Mr. Sheen said, "A huge thanks to the lovely people from the ENMA for raising such a great amount for CAFOD and for the delicious curry." CAFOD is the official aid agency of the Catholic Church in England and Wales and part of Caritas International to end poverty and injustice.
Model cadets in emotional walk. 2 young adult air cadets have completed a mammoth walk in less than a day. Sergeant Matthew Hoare and Cadet Warrant Officer Thomas White ventured to Bornem in Flanders, Belgium, to tackle the annual Dodentocht 100-kilometre trek. Thousands of people took part in the event, with the two from 2473 Squadron, Highlands and Southgate Air Training Corps on Saturday, August the 11th, and Sunday, August the 12th. Sergeant Hoare said, "I'm proud to have finished in a good time. I was physically prepared, but underestimated the emotional difficulty." Sergeant Hoare and Cadet Warrant Officer Thomas White lay a wreath of remembrance at the St. Nicholas War Memorial site in Flanders on behalf of the committee and fellow 2473 Squadron cadets. Flight Lieutenant Becky Baker, commanding officer of 2473 Squadron, said, "I've known these 2 cadets since they joined my squadron 5 years ago. I'm immensely pleased with Sergeant Hall's achievement, finishing in such an incredibly good time, and I'm also proud of both of them for initiating their act of remembrance, particularly with this year being the 100th anniversary of the Battle of Passchendaele in Flanders. Both of these young men epitomise all of the qualities we aim to develop in our cadets." The squadron meets at Highlands School, World's End Lane, between 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. every Monday and Wednesday evenings. All young people of all abilities in school year 8 or above are welcome to attend and see what we have to offer.
Thug terrified driver with gun. A man who brazenly threatened people with a handgun after a minor road rage incident has been jailed. Daniela Kloska was driving an Audi through Croyland Road, Edmonton, when another car pulled up, leaving him with little room to carry on down the road. The car behind him reversed, expecting Kloska to do the same. But instead, he got out of his car and angrily walked over to the car behind. Then he went back to his own car and the woman inside gave him a handgun, which he waved around with a menacing glare before jumping back into his car. A marker was put on the car and it was later found in Bedford and taken to a North London police station. When Kloska turned up expecting officers to give him his car back, he was arrested. The 30-year-old of Foster Hill, Bedford, pleaded guilty to possession of a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence and sentenced to 18 months in jail. Detective Constable Joel Gregory, the investigating officer from Enfield's Major Crime Unit, said, "Kloska brazenly produced a firearm in the street following what appeared to be an insignificant traffic dispute. He had complete disregard for the safety of those around him and also made no effort to disguise what he was doing or who he was. It was clear that Kloska produced that firearm to cause the occupants of the vehicle behind him to fear for their own safety. I would like to extend my thanks to the 2 members of the public who supported the police investigation."
Save our Greenbelt. A campaign group is determined to protect Enfield's Greenbelt land amidst the new home building drive. Members of Enfield Roadwatch are citing a new campaign to protect rural England, CPRE, report reveals London's housing needs can be met without releasing Greenbelt land. According to the report, problems in meeting the demand for housing have been caused by slow build rates and a lack of funding, not a lack of land. Space to build. Why we don't need to build on green spaces to solve the housing crisis references the use of suitable wasted space in London as a viable alternative. This includes the redevelopment of existing single-storey buildings into mid-rise developments, as well as reclaiming road space and disused garages. In the report, it is claimed that estate regeneration could deliver up to 360,000 homes. Car parks could provide space for 75,000 homes. Disused garages could provide space for 16,000 homes. Bringing empty homes back into use can deliver 5,000 homes. And reclaiming roads and roundabouts could provide space for 10,000 homes. Alice Roberts of CPRE London states, Londoners may be surprised to know that permissions have in fact already been granted for 260,000 homes in the capital. At the current build rate of 25,000 new homes per year, that will keep us going for 10 years, with all the other opportunities identified in this report, which don't involve a return to high-rise development. We have enough space to be building for 40 years. Carol Fisk, Vice Chairman of Enfield Roadwatch, believes the Space to Build report shows the unnecessary use of green belt land and demonstrates the potential use of brownfield sites and other options available. He said, how many of us notice the numerous disused garages that just sit idle for years, encouraging fly tipping and other activities, whereas with good design and planning, these could provide the space for thousands of homes. The ideas in the report are fully supported by the Mayor of London and can be readily applied in Enfield. It was excellent to recently read in the Independent that Enfield Council is working in partnership with Neil Cott Construction to build 13 homes on 5 disused garage sites in Enfield. Initiatives like this are a clear example of following the National Planning Policy Framework, developing brownfield first and a win-win for everyone. Airspace is another often unused commodity, and according to the CPRE report, could provide at least 500,000 homes. Despite government policies and ministerial statements, commitments to protect the Greenbelt are not always honoured, and the number of threats and risks continue to escalate at an alarming rate. We were also pleased to see the draft Enfield Town Master Plan suggesting some of these alternatives and hope more will be incorporated in the revised local plan without loss of green belt. Visit http://www.cpre.org.uk/new/item/4-4-million-new-home-in-without-on-greenfields.
Well, I haven't got anything like that, I'm pleased to say. Bright students excel on Prince William's course. Prince William congratulated pupils for completing a new character-building course. Year 9 pupils from Nightingale Academy in Turin Road, Edmonton, completed the Trailblazer phase of the new Prince William Award. Education charity Skillforce deliver the National Character Award aimed at transforming children in Key Stages 1 to 3 in Britain. Principal Anne Palmer helped create the award that may one day be as important as the Duke of Edinburgh Award. Prince William sent a special recorded message from Kensington Palace to the school to congratulate the 10 pupils. He said, I want to thank you for all of your effort, your energy and your enthusiasm. It means a great deal to Skillforce and to me. Since starting the Prince William Award, you will have challenged yourself to do things that you may not have thought were possible. For some of you, that may have been standing up and talking in front of your class for the first time. For others, it might have been helping others or perhaps leading a community project. You have taken on a variety of challenges and dared to be your best. Nightingale Academy is one of a dozen schools in the United Kingdom to enrol in the pilot. Developing resilience, responsibility, teamwork, endurance, respect, communication, leadership and listening skills are some of its aims. Ida Demir, 14, said, knowing I could help to save someone's life makes me feel like a hero. I feel very special and thankful to have been one of the few people selected to complete this award.
Think, is he really boyfriend material? Women are being urged to think about whether their partner really is boyfriend material as part of a new domestic abuse campaign. Enfield Council wants to help young women take control of their relationships and know the signs of domestic violence. It has also been given £377,000 to launch the MIA project to help survivors flee domestic violence. Think, is he really boyfriend material? Women are being urged to think about whether their partner really is boyfriend material as part of a new domestic abuse campaign. Enfield Council wants to help young women take control of their relationships and know the signs of domestic violence. It has also been given £377,000 to launch the Maya project to help survivors flee domestic violence. It is aimed at high-risk domestic abuse victims and survivors, often with complex needs, who are unlikely to have engaged with existing support services. The Maya project will provide dedicated, targeted support and will also offer therapy to children who have witnessed domestic violence. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Community Safety and Public Health, Councillor Crystal Fanyonga, said, "Awareness is growing. Survivors are gaining confidence to come forward." The award coincides with the launch of the second phase of Enfield Council's domestic violence campaign, aimed at young women in particular, to identify abuse and to help them seek advice. The latest campaign is called Boyfriend Material, which highlights unacceptable behaviour in a relationship. See www.enfield.gov.uk/DV.
Music scheme for young offenders. Young offenders settling back into the community will be supported by an organisation committed to offering life-changing opportunities. Hackney Music Development Trust, or HMDT, based in Alderman Road, Palmer's Green, has received a £90,000 grant from the City of London Corporation's charitable funder, City Bridge Trust. The money will part pay for one of HMDT's music projects, One Spirit, that addresses life skills and education shortages of young people who have been in custody. Alison Gellman, chairman of the City of London Corporation's City Bridge Trust Committee, said, "This unique programme follows young people throughout their time in custody and upon release. It will also continue to offer structured one-to-one support. The success rate of One Spirit is extremely high, showing how effective this project is to young people in and around Hackney and Enfield, and how it really is changing lives. We are committed to tackling disadvantage across the capital and making London a fairer and better place to live. HMDT help with learning, increase skills and raise aspirations through art projects. Participants benefit from personal mentors after release, with 89% success rate of people not reoffending within 12 months of release. City Bridge Trust makes grants of £20 million annually to challenge disadvantage in London. It has awarded 7,600 grants in 22 years. Choir's charity beat. Singers on the lookout for more members. A choir that donates its weekly subscriptions to a cancer charity is looking to recruit singers. The Big Choir, which formed in February 2016 and raised over £5,500 for cancer research and the Crick Institute in King's Cross, is in its first year and it's expanding. Organiser Sharon Kazapnik, Down, hopes to raise £10,000 by the end of 2017. She is on the lookout for singers from sopranos, altos, tenors or bass. There are no auditions and members are aged 25 to 80. No previous experience is necessary, just a joy of singing and a willingness to learn the harmonies. Sharon said, "We are not a choir connected to cancer in any way. It just so happens that many members have been affected, either themselves or having lost loved ones. They love the fact that their weekly subs are going to such good use. My aim is to grow the choir, and that is why we have now opened a session in Winchmore Hill. We're very excited about this, and we got such a lovely welcome at the N21 Festival in July. We're hoping to see many locals at this group, and we offer a free taster session. Our choir is a real community choir, and we've seen so many friendships blossom. We have quite a good social side too, often ending up in the pub for a drink or dinner, and we love to perform. We did East Barnet Festival too this year and have performed at various other events over the past 12 months. We have 2 big performances, one during the summer and a Christmas show in December where we sell tickets to raise more money for the charity. The Big Choir meets on Thursday evenings, which often ends up with a social get-together in a pub, and there is a Tuesday morning meet-up too. Contact Sharon Kazapnik Down on 07971 957 188 or email thebigchoir.org@gmail.com for more.
The next few articles are from the Palmer's Green and Southgate Life magazine. Palmer's Green protests. Hundreds of parents and children marched through the streets of Palmer's Green on Saturday the 27th of May to protest against school funding cuts. Fun, family-friendly processions set off from Hazelwood schools and marched to Broomfield Park, drawing lots of attention to themselves on the way. Children jumped at the opportunity to get creative, producing amazing posters and placards that described all the things they love about their school. One inventive pupil even took a step further by performing a rap at the Triangle. It received a great reception from the local community, with plenty of cars and buses tooting their horns in support. Although the event was organised by parents from Hazelwood School, schools from across the borough were represented. Boss Cheryl Ambus, our newly elected MP for Enfield Southgate, joined in the march, alongside representatives from the Liberal Democrats and the Green Party. David Burrows, Conservative, also attended the post-march picnic to speak to parents about their concerns. The key issue parents are campaigning against is the cut in per-pupil levels of school funding. This means that the average funding each school receives per child is due to fall in real terms by £27 million across Enfield over the next 3 years. An independent research body, the Institute for Fiscal Studies, estimated that under current government plans, the level of per-pupil funding will fall by 7% from 2015 to 16 to 2021 to 22. This was reported widely in the national media, including the Daily Telegraph on 26th of May 2017. All of this is already resulting in cuts to teaching staff, increased class sizes, and less subjects being offered to pupils. Latimer School in Enfield has written to all parents asking for regular cash donations to make up the very significant financial shortfall. The organisers, who were a small group of Hazelwood parents, said they had never been involved in organising anything like this before. However, they felt driven to act by the feeling that parents could really make a difference. Organiser Ruth Donaldson said, "We felt compelled to do something by the thought of what these cuts will mean for our children. This is not a distant political debate. This is something real that is happening on our doorstep that we can all do something about." A common theme across the posters and placards seen on the march was that children need to be seen as an investment that should be nurtured and not as a cost to be cut. Whilst this is all very concerning, we also feel energised by the reception to the march and the realisation that parents can make a difference. We are just 6 working parents who organised this in 2 weeks. If anyone else is interested in helping us take this forward, we'd love to hear from them. And if you'd like more information, there's a Fair Funding for All Schools-Enfield Facebook page, or you can find out more from the national campaign website, www.fairfundingforallschools.org.
And as Ali said, another article from the Palmer's Green and Southgate Life magazine, The Importance of Preparing Children for Secondary Transfer, by Miss Rizzo, who is the head teacher of Grange Park Prep School. At GPPS, we believe it is our responsibility to prepare children for secondary transfer and to support parents through this process. We are not an academically selective school on entry. Can you really assess a 3 to 4 year old child? Because we feel it is much more important to have parents who are fully supportive of their child's education and will work with us to get the very best out of them. In preparing for secondary transfer, both parents and child, with the teacher's support, must create mutually agreed and realistic targets. The word realistic is crucial here, however counterintuitive it may feel. Obviously, there is nothing wrong with aiming for the highest possible results or the best schools, but it is important for this ambition to be tempered with a realistic perspective of what the child is likely to achieve. Irrespective of this choice, we believe all children should be fully prepared and ready for secondary school. Support of parents begins with an informal information giving session in Year 4 and providing a list of schools with dates of open days, entry process details and exam dates. We like to encourage our parents to visit schools with their children from Year 4 so they can begin to understand which type of school would be suitable for their child. This may be a local state, grammar or an independent school. In Year 5, we meet with parents to offer general advice on looking at and shortlisting schools. We also outline the demands of Year 5 and what parents can expect in the way of homework and timetable changes. Later in the year, we meet with parents again on an individual basis to discuss in detail their child's progress, subject areas their child needs to work on, their school choices, and how to support their child through this period. We have timetabled lessons for verbal and non-verbal reasoning, and from January in Year 5 through to Year 6, we hold weekly after-school classes for children to sit past exam papers from a range of schools in maths and English. We analyse the results to identify which areas require revising. The summer exams in Year 5 and SATs in Year 6 are sat in the hall to simulate an official exam. We also prepare the children by assisting them in compiling a personal profile which focuses on their skills and achievements, teach interview techniques, and set up mock interviews to ensure they are prepared in every way. Once the entrance exam results are published, we offer individual parents meetings to help them decide, where applicable, on their final choice and/or what to do next if they have not received their chosen school. Throughout the process, it is important to remind and encourage parents that we are a mixed ability school, and our advice is based on our knowledge of the individual children in our care. This advice is based not only on the child's capabilities, but where we feel they will thrive, and the best school to suit their personalities.
Susan Memmott and Jenny Bourke have been making a film about the apiary in the Broomfield Park orchard. He writes, "I've often visited the orchard during its lovely open days and enjoyed the honey sold by the volunteers, but have been a little wary of going too near the bees. However, we were very pleased to hear about how the hives are looked after and how necessary they are. Indeed, bees ensure our plants and crops are pollinated and consequently that we are fed. The team of volunteers led by Kim Lunley work very hard to ensure the hives are safe so the bees can carry on their good work. They also talk to school children about their work. Children have been shown how beekeepers work and protect themselves, and how the pollen is collected on the bees' legs. The pollen and nectar are taken back to the hive as food for the bees, which remain in the hive. Bees work as a team, each with their own particular role within their community. This ensures every bee is busy fulfilling their function, whether it's being queen bee and laying lots of eggs, or a forager busily looking for food to bring back to the hive. Bees thrive in cities due to the lower use of pesticides and the abundance of a diverse range of flowers and plants available for them to feed from."
Parliamentary comment by Cheryl Ambus MP, being your new Member of Parliament for Enfield Southgate. ambus.cherylambus.mp@parliament.uk. Telephone number 020 7219 3460. On Thursday, the 8th of June 2017, I was elected your new Member of Parliament for Enfield Southgate. It is a huge honour and privilege to have won the support of the majority of voters, and I have already started doing casework and attending community events. People have asked me what it's like being a new MP, and I'll do my best to give an insight here. Being at Westminster is very much like starting your first day at a new school, where you meet new friends and learn new ways, and discover your new surroundings. As with all new starts, there are a number of things that have taken some getting used to. The first thing has been getting used to a new work environment. Most MPs have offices in the very modern Portcullis House, which is directly above Westminster Tube Station. MPs get an allowance to run their offices, and which covers stationery, equipment, and separately staffing. New MPs have to wait weeks, sometimes months, to get allocated an office, and in the interim, they have to find space to work in. At the time of writing, I am still without an office, but luckily I have been able to secure a temporary perch in another MP's office. The other place I will often be required to attend is the House of Commons chamber, which is so familiar with its green benches and dark veneer wood, and yet so odd with its unusual procedures, such as turning with your back to the chamber at prayers before debates. Another thing that I am getting used to is that more people recognise you than ever before, and you are sometimes asked for selfies, which, although I find it flattering to think that anyone would want a selfie with me, I'm always happy to oblige. A further thing is that now I get lots of media requests, ranging from interviews with the print media to live radio and television. I seem to have had slightly more interest than some of my new colleagues, but many of the new MPs seem to be asked to do media requests, primarily because we are all new. Finally, although I was used to getting casework emails, letters and phone calls as a counsellor, the volume is significantly higher, and every day the casework comes thick and fast. I try to answer them as quickly as possible and as thoroughly as I can. As with all elections, One person's triumph is another person's defeat. And I pay tribute to David Burrows' dedication to Enfield Southgate and his 23 years of public service, first as a councillor and then as an MP. All MPs try to do the best they can for their constituents. I know that David worked hard for his constituents in his time as MP. I want to thank everyone who voted on the 8th of June 2017. I know that there are big expectations on me as the new MP, and I will work hard to ensure that all the people of Enfield Southgate are well served by having me as their MP.
And a final article from the Palmers Green and Southgate Life magazine is a thank you note from David Burrows, former MP for Enfield Southgate. May I thank the people of Enfield Southgate for the privilege and pleasure of representing you as MP for 12 years. It is a great constituency full of great people, associations and concerns. Thank you also the 20,634 electors who voted for me on June the 8th. This election was the third time in 20 years when a big swing has unseated the incumbent Enfield Southgate MP. Each time the result raised serious questions for the losing party. And as I said at the count, for the Conservatives we need to develop an agenda full of hope, aspiration and compassion. We need to reflect and listen to the result and get ready to return to the fray for the local council elections next year. I congratulate Bambos Cheryl Ambus on his victory and wish him well in his service of our local area. I would like to say thank you for all the kind messages that I've received since the election, particularly from those across the political spectrum. In a time of politics of division and discord, what gets less attention are the times when politicians work on a cross-party basis, such as when we opposed extending Sunday trading, secured support for refugees, relationships education, and preventing homelessness. Given the new Parliament's arithmetic, there will be a need for more cross-party working in the national interest. I now look forward to spending more time with my wife and children, who have been such a great support. I will continue to champion social justice causes like recovery from addiction and homelessness, and look forward to new opportunities to serve our community. Finally, can I thank my staff who have given such loyal service for countless constituents, and especially Jane Kelly, who has worked tirelessly for me for 12 years in my constituency office. And now we're going to tell you some details of what's on in the near future. There's going to be an artist-led audio description tour at the Tate Modern called Touching Between Object and Architecture with Aaron McPeak. It's on Wednesday the 23rd of August between 4 and 5:30 in the afternoon. And the description of it says, connect with object and architecture and think about the spaces we inhabit and the materials that surround us. Based in the display called Between Object and Architecture, this audio description tour will use haptic aids and handling objects to help describe the works within the room. Aaron McPeak works with numerous media from bronze casting to film, photography and sound. His work places emphasis on the possibilities of many types of readings, and he views the process of making artwork as akin to writing poetry, where the visual imagination is integral to both its making and reception. If you want to go to that, you need to collect in the community room, which you will find from the Blavatnik building entrance on the south side of the building off Sumner Street. And you will need to be there for 3:30 in the afternoon for tea and cake. That sounds good. There isn't any need to book. Sighted companions and guide dogs are welcome. And the event is fully supported by trained audio describers. Hearing loops and amplifiers are available. If you need to know anything more, you could contact Anna Murray, who is the assistant curator, and you could call her on 0207 887 8888. And if you're not sure how best to get there, I'm supposing what I like to do is go to St Paul's tube station and walk across the Millennium Bridge. It's a delightful walk to get to Tate Modern. But you can also go to somewhere like Southwark and walk from there, or you can go by boat. There are various possibilities, but you will need to discuss these with your companions. Right, I think that I'd better leave that there now.
Got some activities here and classes for the over 50s in Enfield at the Ruth Winston Community Centre. And there's a little advert here. Enroll now for Tai Chi, yoga, armchair exercise, that sounds good, and Pilates, daytime and evening classes. Latin American dance for beginners is on Fridays 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday afternoons from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. it's the afternoon social club. Dance, chat, sing, meet new friends and enjoy tea and cake again. Thursdays there's a hot lunch club, £4.50 for a 2-course homemade meal with refreshments. And coming soon will be computer courses for social media, internet and iPad, Windows 10. Sign up to be on the list for the next courses. That's www.ruthwinstoncentre, and there's no E in Winston, ruthwinstoncentre.com. Our telephone 020 8886 5346, and the address of the centre is 190 Green Lanes, Palmer's Green, N13 5UE.
And on Sunday the 27th and Monday the 28th, there will be the Lee Valley Bank Holiday Country Fair. This takes place on the showground at River Lee Country Park, Waltham Cross. Admission is £7.50, concessions £6. Children between the ages of 5 to 16 are £3. A family, which is 2 adults and 2 children, would be £19. Well-behaved dogs on a lead are welcome, but not in the marquees where the food is. And it's open from 10 till 5 each day, and it will have something for everyone. For example, the Cavalry of Heroes jousting team, Savage Bike Skills display team, Birds of Prey flying displays, Terrier racing, children's entertainer Mario Magic, a goat show including bottle feeding lambs and kids, children's petting pens, historical reenactment, and much, much more, including demonstrations of rural skills, arts and crafts, gifts marquees, and other trade stands. There will be catering and a licensed bar. So go along and have some fun.
Right, and I've got something about Enfield Gas Safety Week, which is coming up in September. Come and join us for Enfield Gas Safety Week, first community event, which is Saturday the 16th of September from 9 in the morning till 4:30 p.m. in Enfield Market, Church Street, Enfield, EN2 6NL. There will be face painting, cheerleaders, Enfield Carnival, bouncy castle, a simulator, it doesn't say what for, hospitality VIP area, a free prize draw, safety hunt, and local DJ Radio JJ.
And now we have a few letters. Here's one from G. Panasides. Cruelty of Mrs. May. My husband and I are in our 80s. We've both worked hard, as many pensioners have, from age 15 to 70 with no breaks. The reason was to buy a home and have a family and have something to leave to our son. So if we have to go into care due to ill health, the Prime Minister, Mrs. May, takes our home to pay for it. We have already paid for any care needed. So instead of my son receiving £550, he can only get £100. Surely I've made a mistake? This is so cruel to so many old people.
I have a letter about Bush Hill Park Station from David Lee, who is Treasurer of the Bush Hill Park Residents Association. And he writes, under the heading Get on Board for a Greener Station. Regular passengers at Bush Hill Park Station will know that last year Energy Gardens created a garden space at the foot of the footbridge on the up platform, as well as planting 10 wooden troughs on the down platform. This spring, the Energy Gardens group returned to the station on 3 dates to encourage people to take up regular maintenance of the garden troughs. Bush Hill Park Residents Association, or BHPRA, members Rosemary Perkins and Caroline Wilmer will now be working at the station on Friday afternoons every 2 weeks, and would be delighted if a few more residents got involved with the care and feeding of the plants. Once there are more regulars working at the station, more ambitious plans are possible. Energy Gardens have provided the tools and plants. All we have to do is provide a little bit of effort. And the dates are Fridays, August the 25th, September the 8th, and September the 22nd. If you can help, please go to the BHPRA website, which is www.bhpra.org.uk, and register your interests at the Station Garden Group section.
Hello, apologies for the previous reading, which should have read thousands of pounds rather than just pounds, but there we go. I'm sure you've understood. Here's a final letter from Vin Fleming of Green Road, Southgate. Well done, Chase Farm. How lucky we are to have an NHS that serves. I say this because of recent visits to Chase Farm Hospital. In all departments, my wife and I have received excellent treatment from doctors, nurses and general staff. Whilst waiting for test reports within the older person's assessment unit, the time was 12:30. We were offered tea, coffee, sandwiches and even a light lunch. Kindness in its fullest sense. Well done to all the staff at Chase Farm Hospital. Despite the site being rebuilt, you are all doing a wonderful job. Below par showing sees Enfield high jumper finish joint 6. Grabarts gutted after final failure at London 2017. Bobby Grabarts was left frustrated after failing to medal in the high jump at the IAAF World Championships. After clearing a season's best 2.31 metres to qualify, the Enfield athlete was below par in the final and could only make 2.25 metres as he finished tied for 6th spot. He was understandably disappointed with the result, and understands that at 29 he may not have too many more chances to perform on such a stage. I'm absolutely gutted. It was technically really bad. I don't have any excuses or reasons. It was just way below what I'm capable of. It's not the kind of performance I should be putting in my career at this point in a major final, he said. It was definitely the last chance jumping in London like this, and there aren't going to be many more worlds I'm going to be fit for. So it's just a missed opportunity.
Sprinting quartet claim top spot at World Championships. Records tumble as Uja helps secure superb gold. CJ Uja helped make history on Saturday as Great Britain's 4x100 metres relay team won gold at the IAAF World Championships at London Stadium. The Enfield and Haringey Athletics Club sprinter ran the opening leg of the final as the hosts obliterated the opposition to run the third fastest time the event has ever seen. The quartet, which was completed by Adam Gamili, Annie Talbot and Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake, clocked a time of 34.47 seconds to claim gold, setting a new 2017 world lead and European record in the process. The result sees a group of athletes who have been lauded for a long time finally add the substance of a medal to the promise they have shown for a number of years. Talbot was delighted to have delivered in front of an expectant home crowd and says he and his teammates always believed they could win the top prize. I think the public have probably heard enough about us being the best generation of sprinting, but with no results, he said. It is nice we came here in front of our home crowd and did exactly what we thought we could. We had so much self-belief, we didn't come here to just get on the podium. We came to win, and that's what we did. The time was a bonus. That wasn't a focus of ours. Everything just came into place, and we're so happy. The race itself saw Uja set the tone, making an explosive start and running a fine opening leg before handing off to Gamili with a sizable lead. Gamili maintained this form, and Talbot's fine leg left Mitchell-Blake with an advantage heading into the final straight. He kept up the pace set and held off a strong challenge from the USA to secure a stunning triumph for Great Britain. The race was also notable for being Usain Bolt's last, and the legendary Jamaican bowed out in a manner which did scant justice to a superb career. Taking the baton into the last leg, Bolt looked to close the gap to the leaders, only to pull up with an injury and collapse to the ground. It was a tough sight to watch as the curtain came down on one of athletics' all-time greats. Regardless, he leaves the sport with a legacy it is hard to see being matched. He retires as the world record holder in both the 100 and 200 metres, and with 8 Olympic golds to his name. The 30-year-old completed a clean sweep of first-place finishes at both London 2012 and Rio 2016, and also boasts 11 World Championship golds. He received a standing ovation from the crowd at the former Olympic Stadium and was clearly touched by the emotional send-off. Bolt said, "I was saying goodbye to the fans and saying goodbye to my events. I was saying goodbye to everything. I almost cried. It was close, but it didn't come. It's really sad that I have to walk away."
We have reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So, from the team of Ali, John and Peter on the controls, it's good night. Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the memory stick into the packet in a closed position and return it to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. Don't forget you can call Diane de Jersey regarding any help you may require in connection with the Enfield Talking newspaper on 020 8805 6578.